With me now, though, is Shanlon Wu. He's a former federal prosecutor and a CNN legal analyst. And Shan, always good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Good to see you, Martin.
How can Senators McConnell and Graham honor their oath to do impartial justice when they both appear to have basically decided what the outcome of this case is going to be already?
Well, they certainly don't seem to be very impartial, Martin. I think for them, the legal escape hatch here is that unlike the oath that jurors take in a courtroom, this one's a little different. In the courtroom, there's a lot of scrutiny. Judges ask the jurors, lawyers ask the jurors, have you already made up your mind before you hear the evidence? This oath is very different because the emphasis is on impartially do justice. So the legal minds that can advise McConnell and Graham can tell them, well, that's a question of what does the word justice mean? You think you are being impartial. I'm sure they would say it's the Democrats who are being partisan about the justice aspect of it. So they're interpreting it that way. Does it violate the spirit of that oath? Probably yes. But legally, that's the way that you would parse it. And that, again, is one of the crucial differences between having a trial in a courtroom versus having this very historical trial in the Senate.
I want to get your take on, the president saying that he would prefer a longer trial. He'd love a number of witnesses to be called. But, of course, we already know rank-and-file Republicans, such as Lindsey Graham, want a short trial with no witnesses, basically going on what was testified to in the House. What legal strategies do you think the Republicans and Democrats are trying to pursue here?
Well, they're quite different ones. The Republican legal strategy has got to be to go short on this. They don't want witnesses. There's no witness testimony that will be helpful to them. All witness testimony is harmful to them. The president is not known for his legal strategy. He may be rather good at media strategies, but his idea of prolonging it and having more witnesses would just be a catastrophe for the Republicans. The Democrats, on the other hand, they want to go long and deep. The more evidence, the more witnesses they can put on, the better it is. And also, they have an advantage, which is, again, because it's not in the courtroom, they're not constrained by the typical rules of evidence. There's also usually a lot of rulings by the judge to make sure that it's a narrow band of evidence only relevant to the charges. They have a lot of wiggle room here. They can try to bring in a lot of misconduct that is not actually charged, quote unquote, so that they can portray the full amount of the misconduct, and that may really go towards their real jury, the real audience.
Well, who is the real jury in an impeachment trial? I mean, we know it's the senators, but how much of a factor is the public?
I think the public, in this instance, is the real jury. I think the Senate is a foregone conclusion which way they're going to come out, barring something really unforeseen. So for the Democrats here, besides doing their constitutional duty of prosecuting the impeachment, they need to get the word out to the American public to show the full problem with this president. And in so doing, they probably won't affect the die-hard cadre of Trump devotees, but they could whittle down the edges, independents, and maybe, if they do a really good job, some of the more moderate Republicans may begin to feel a little bit ambivalent and maybe stay at home and thus voting with their feet, Barton.
Right, and it could be just that narrow margin that makes all the difference in the outcome of the next election.
Oh, absolutely.
Shanlon Wu, good to see you. Thank you very much for being here.
Good to see you.